Alrighty, let us begin. So, I hate making freaking videos like this, and I feel like I've done 10 too many already. So, no clickbait, and I wanted to wait till today to do this because I didn't want to do it yesterday because then it's like, April Fool's, like half my turtles are dead. Nope, not quite. So essentially, if you guys remember, after I moved at the new place, once it got cold, the turtles were not adapting well. A bunch of them got a fungus. Bean got hit the hardest and lost basically the top part of her beak, and it looks like half her face. And she's got all scar tissue and is all jacked up. She's good now, but that fungus, and it took over all the other terrapins that were in that pond. So those include Flipper, Beef, Bean, then Urkel, Dragon Fruit, Mochi, Crouton. And I'm not going to include pictures because that'll just be painful for me. So I'll include a video where I introduce them, I think, so you can remember them. Well, we'll get to that. So, I mean, yeah, like most of them are dead. So, yikes. Okay, now it's getting difficult. So they got a fungus, right? Big icky no-no. I was like, this sucks. This is so annoying. I thought I was down to my core group of concentric diamondback terrapins. They're the northern subspecies. Concentric is the phenotype, which means just how they look. And so I thought I was down to like my core group. So they all get the fungus. I bring everyone inside. I keep them dry for about 2 weeks, and I treat them with acroflavin, that blue stuff. I would paint them blue and keep them dry. I have a video talking about that when I talk about Bean's fungus, right? And then I made the very difficult decision because I had literally nowhere to put them and I was out of space and I only had enough room for a 110-gallon stock tank inside. I had to rehome them temporarily. They were on loan. They were not sold. They were still mine, but I reached out to one of my trusted friends because I have had so many breeding loans go bad. So many. And so out of I had 2 and both of them kind of sucked. So very much sucked. I got my animals back in weird condition with one of them had whatever. Anyways, not the point. So I didn't want to loan them, but I had no choice, right? Because I had no space. And I was like, it's not right for them. I got to do what's right for them. Similar to when I moved the first time. And so I have no space. They're not going to overwinter here well. Now that they're all fixed up and happy, let me send them to a friend, a trusted friend who will have them on loan. So it was like November at this point. I box them up, heat pack at the top, send them off to my friend over in Texas. He has over a decade experience with terrapins. So, their winter was perfect. It was 50 degrees, which is the perfect brumation for temperature for terrapins. They were in a nice big tub. They were in with his group. Totally cool. And so it was technically a breeding loan, but, realistically, they were only going to be with him for a couple years till I can get all my stuff settled and figured out. I really didn't care about offspring all that much. I really just wanted my animals to be somewhere that I knew that they would be comfortable and safe and well cared for, because I trust all of about 3 or 4 people. That's generous. Like 3-4 people total in the terrapin community that are not pieces of trash. And so I send them to my buddy. That's who? Urkel. So he's a very high quality male concentric. I sent Dragon Fruit, big monster girl, Mochi, and Crouton. And I sent Yoda, but Yoda's... Anyways, sidebar. Yoda did not brumate because she had that little bit of shell rot still, so he was fixing her up inside for the winter. So those animals go out, and I bring the rest inside. And about 2 weeks ago or so, my friend reaches out and is like, hey, brumation's over, but Dragon Fruit's basking a little longer than normal. She's acting a little funny, so I'm going to take her in and get her. I gave her the last of the antibiotics that I had on hand. I'm going to go ahead and get her into the vet. Okay. This was, I want to say, on Sunday. She was supposed to go to the vet Wednesday, and her symptoms began like Friday, something like that. I think it was like Friday or maybe like Monday they started, and he noticed that she's basking for longer than normal. So Tuesday rolls around. He told me this Sunday. Tuesday rolls around. She has the vet appointment the next day. She is dead. Like that. The day before, he had said, "Hey, I noticed a little bit of redness in her legs." And I was like, that's kind of weird, but I guess it's probably just some type of weird infection, because it just sounds like a respiratory infection. Respiratory infection after hibernation, after brumation, fairly typical. It happens. Their immune systems are lowered, and they just kind of get hit with something. For a respiratory infection to have killed in under a week is kind of unheard of. You see, Yoda got a really bad infection when I put her in the pond, and I tried giving her ceftazidime, which is the go-to antibiotic. Over a week of treatment, didn't work. I gave her Fortaz, another week of treatment, still didn't work. My point being, number one, that I have terrible luck with my animals sometimes, and number two, that she had 2.5 weeks from being lethargic and not eating. 2.5 weeks before she was on like death's door, and even then, I spent $1,000, $1,150 at the vet, and I brought her in to an emergency on a Sunday. I'll never forget this. Drove an hour and a half south to the vet. So even though she was lethargic on that day that I found her floating in the pond, it took 2.5 weeks before she was super weak and dying. And even then, we put an IV, we gave her insulin, we got her started on a new round of antibiotics, and guess what? She got better. So even with a really nasty RI, you have time. The point is you have time. With shell rot, you have time, right? Before it gets down to the bone for you to notice something. With almost any disease, you have time. Dragon fruit was gone in under a week. That is unheard of. So I said, okay, let's necropsy her. Let's figure out, well, he suggested it, and I was like, sure. There's like $300 and something to get her necropsied. About a week after that, he comes back to me and said, hey, the vet said that she has parasites. She has flukes, they're called, all throughout. They clogged her veins. Okay, weird. Literally, I've never heard of that happening in a terrapin ever. And I've been also working with the species a decade. Never heard of that. Okay, parasites they suck, but if left untreated, this can happen. So I thought to myself, let's go with, I've dealt with parasites before. I've dealt with a tapeworm in Coco and Nilla, my ornate that I used to have. And Coco freaking drowned. So I've heard of people, terrapins eat live things. They can get parasites like that, and tapeworms are fairly common. So I learned how much of praziquantel, it's called, is the active ingredient. That's a regular anti-parasitic and dewormer. I ordered some from Amazon. It comes in a pellet. I order it as a cat dewormer, and I dose it out. I get a little micro scale, cut them up, wrap them in shrimp, feed them to the animals. Boom, fixed. Even with a tapeworm, and even with most parasites, they can live for quite a while with them undetected and not showing symptoms and not killing them. Because for parasites to reproduce and continue their life cycle, they should not kill the host. They kill the host, they kill themselves. So it's not common. Regardless. Weird. So I tell him, I'll order the microscale, order the Prazi, and get it to you as soon as you can. So he's waiting for the vet. He's like, I'd rather go through the vet. Okay. 5 days after that, he's like, listen, he sends me a picture of one of his males, dead, and says, this is not good. I was like, oh boy. And all I'm thinking is, I still have Urkel Mochi Crouton in there. And I'm already dragon fruit was like my girl. Like Bean, Flipper, my girls, and dragon fruit. They all lived in the pond. Those were the 3 girls. Dragon fruit was a beast. She was freaking awesome. So very one of a kind. So So what happens? What happens? His male dies. A couple days after that, his female that he has, one big blue girl, I forget her name, but big, like dragon fruit. He said that they were sisters because they were both very similar sizes. She's gone. With 2 or 3 days after his male. And I was like, all right, they need to be treated like yesterday. So he got them injected with praziquantel, got them injected with antibiotics. That was on Friday. On Sunday, Crouton, one of my most beloved concentric terrapins, because I had been raising her and Mochi, I got together, and they were extraordinarily high quality concentrics. Bold markings, like super minimal head markings, like really, really top tier animals, like freaking crazy. Out of 1,000 like hatchlings, Crouton was number 1 and Mochi was number 2 as far as like patterns and stuff. Like crazy good looking animals that I've been not just that I've been hand raising for the last 5 years. 5 years, yeah. That I had in the pond and all that fun jazz. Crouton is acting lethargic. So, and she's like freaking beautiful. Jeez, this sucks. So he said, I gave her Prazi and I gave her antibiotics on Friday, and it's Sunday at this point, and the anti-parasitic should kill him dead quick. It should. It did not, because the next day she was dead. Same symptoms, redness in the legs, and just lethargic, and she was gone, despite being treated. Which is weird, because Prazi should take care of flukes. And flukes, it says, are popular, or at least probably enter the system from, well, we'll talk about where they come from, and prevention and whatnot. So I'm like, shoot, let's try another dewormer, right? Fenbendazole, I want to say it's called. I order it. I order critical care. I order a container of electrolytes in solution. I send it to my buddy. I Amazon next day it all to him. I'm like, force feed him, get him these fluids, and just pump the rest of them full. Oh, I forgot to mention, he took Crouton to the vet. That was it. Oh yeah, this one. He took her to the vet, emergency vet. The vet said, she's septic. That'll be $208 to put her down. I said, no. She's like, no. So I said, take her home, try giving her fluids. By the time he got home, she was dead. The day after that, I order all the stuff, and I'm like, get them, try fenbendazole. The day after that, he said, well, that day he said, Urkel's stopped eating, but is alert and fat and happy. Mochi's still good, and his 2 males are still good. The day after that, Urkel's dead. And Urkel, first of all, I freaking love that boy. I got him also 5 years ago. Another super high quality, good looking boy, and him paired up with just like a regular concentric, like not even a super high quality one, gave super, super, super high quality babies. So I was super excited for that this year. Because he was gonna, whatever. It's not even the point of the babies. The point is, he was like my boy. I took him to the vet for an ear abscess. I've taken him to the vet for a respiratory infection. I remember keeping him in like a little bin in the early parts of the winter or the spring because he got that RI. I remember like feeding him shrimp for the first time when he started eating again. I was super excited. Yeah, that was my boy. My boy. So the next day after that, he said Mochi stopped eating. And I'm like, pump her full of liquids. And we were bombarding her system with the anti-parasitic according to the vet's orders. Like, just trying to get these things dead. And the day after that, she's still okay. He said no better, but no worse. The day after that, she's dead. No cursing. Within 2 weeks, half of my most beloved, most beautiful, most hand-raised animals Thanosed out of existence. So, and the worst part is I gave them, I don't blame my friend at all. Let's get that clear. Like, these things happen. I get it. And I'm all out of tears. I got no more tears left. I can't do it. I try to like push the little tear ducts. I got nothing. Okay? Because there's no point in just sitting and wallowing in self-pity. There's just learning and teaching you so this does not happen to you guys, hopefully. So, at the bottom of the pond, he bleached the pond and everything like that, like halfway through this ordeal, found snail shells, which is where flukes are normally from. So some wild snails got in. That's why it affected the larger animals first. The big girls ate them. They got infected. And by the time we noticed symptoms, they probably kept going over the winter time or even just early spring that they ate them. I don't know how the point between eating them and symptoms showing up, but it was long enough for them to have reproduced so much to clog their vessels, basically, and just kill them. Probably, yeah. So that's how they got them, probably. I'm still working on getting an official ID of exactly what they are, but they were flukes. I don't know the exact species yet. Yeah, that whole ordeal sucked. And now that was my prize group of super high quality terrapins. I was really excited about them. They had a very, very good future. Past tense. And even then, I was holding on for Mochi because she lasted 2 more days than the others had. And I was like, all right, come on, this really sucks, but at least I'll have the hostess with the mochist. That's what I would call her. But nope. So, yeah. Don't feed your critters wild snails. And it's not even the reason I don't blame my friend is because this could have easily happened. My terrapins could have gotten something from the pond. I used to feed my terrapins wild fiddler crabs. I would feed them, all kinds of weird stuff. Well, the pond minnows, the mosquito fish I fed to them, last year and stuff. And my animals could have easily gotten his sick. So from something just unseen. So, I don't blame him at all. And you should not either. It's very much a freak accident. It's very much a freak accident for them to get sick. But then to also get sick and then happen to get something that Prazi doesn't take care of and then to kill them that quickly is literally unheard of. The only other time I've heard of something wiping them out this quickly is a wicked bad respiratory infection once from a woman named Lisa Lee that had a pond of ornates and put in a new one and it wiped out half of them. And even then, you had time to treat them. She had time to treat them. They didn't die overnight. And raccoons. That is the only other time that these animals will die that quickly, that crazily from whatever. And the worst part is my hands were tied. What else was I supposed to do with these animals? I had no choice. They got the fungus, and for their sake, I was not going to put them back out to hibernate because I did not trust that enclosure would be good enough. So I sent them to somewhere where they would be good, and they would be safe. I guess that wasn't good enough. So, and I don't sit here with regrets. Oh, I should have done this, because there's no point. There's learning and moving on. That's the only options. So, learn from my mistakes and push on. Just be careful. I mean, my terrapins have eaten wild snails in my pond that have gotten into my pond. Flipper used to go up in the bog and just munch on them. I've seen her do it. So this could have as easily happened to me as it did to him. It could happen to you. As far as how to prevent it, I don't know. I don't know how to stop wild snails from getting into a pond. That's crazy. This is just a freak, crazy accident. And in the future, I'll probably just be treating my animals with anti-parasitic once a year or once every couple months. I don't know. The answer is I don't know. I just wanted to let you guys know what the heck's going on. Yeah, it just sucks. Thanks for watching all the way through. I mean, is that it? Is that all I wanted to go over? I'm not editing this. I'm not in the headspace to put up their pictures and cut, and blah, blah, blah. Music. I don't want to do that. So, yeah, that's Mochi Crouton. I raised them together. Dragon fruit I got a couple years ago. and she's freaking awesome. And Urkel is just like one of my boys. So that's it. Things happen. This could have as easily happened to me as it happened to him. I don't blame my friend. It is what it is. It just sucks. And I'm moving on. You know, just pushing forward, because that's all I can do, right? I've talked about it before on this channel, that's all you can do is just head down and push on. As far as what's next, I don't know. I really don't. I got no idea. It just, it is just irritating, because like this is one of like 3 or 4 Terrapin people that I trust, and so many Terrapin breeders are pieces of garbage people. Oxytocining wild females to get eggs, to get a subspecies that's readily available in captivity. Oh, thank God that my camera is about to overheat and stop recording, because otherwise I'm going to go on a tangent about breeders that suck and are so bad. But this has to happen to me and my friends. Is what it is. No sense in sitting here crying over... I don't want to sound heartless, but like, what am I going to do? Sit and cry? Pushing on. Moving on. That's kind of it. So, yeah. This season's going to be slow. But it is what it is. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. I appreciate you guys. I will be looking to raise up some new little nuggets this year, hopefully. New little high quality nuggets. Hopefully. Yep. So that's pretty much it. Next video hopefully will be more fun than this one. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I forgot, that I left out before this thing overheats. But no, I think that's everything. I think, yeah, it's just annoying. It's just very irritating. You know, they say bad things happen to good people. It's very frustrating. And I can't, nope, not going to get into it this video. Because if I start to get into it, it will be more like a nuke that deserves its whole own video about horrible Terrapin breeders. Horrible. You know who you are. So... I have a plan, though, in the future to hopefully fix that. Thank you guys so much for watching. This sucks, but I hope that you guys can continue supporting what the heck I have going on here, and we will push on. We will learn from this and recover, and that's it. There's just learning. There's only learning. Learning and moving forward. So I have high hopes for the future, very high hopes. I have some very, very cool plans. I know I said I have no idea earlier. I do have an idea. It's a crazy, crazy idea that I'm very excited about. Crazy, but bear with me. And pushing on for the future. If we don't learn, and I don't talk about it from them, their sacrifices were pointless. So that's how I take it. I take it as a thank you to them. Learning and moving forward. Learn with me. Come along for the ride. You know, the downs, they have ups. So that's it. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you endlessly for your support. And I will see y'all in the next one, where I will introduce you guys to all the Terrapins that I have, and hopefully with some better news and stuff about those little munchkins. So yeah, thanks for watching. See y'all in the next one. Woo.